N3 is open again to all traffic after days of closure. The Road Freight Association says it's delighted to be resuming vital deliveries of goods countrywide. I'm now joined by the association's CEO, Gavin Kelly. Gavin, this is really good news, isn't it? Such an important highway for South Africa. Talk us through what happened and what you're seeing at the moment.
Good evening, Jane, and good evening to your viewers. Well, we finally got that N3 route, that all-important route from the south through to Gauteng and obviously up to our borders in the north so we can export. We finally got it open, which means we can now start recovering some of the loss of logistics and we can start moving. Obviously, this is not going to be a quick fix. We are going to do our best to get all the essentials into KZN, which means the foods and the medicines and the fuels. And that might take us some time to restock all of the shelves. And of course, we're not exactly sure exactly what the extent of the damage is, but we're going to do our best to get it into KZN, to get it into those areas that have been totally devastated and to make sure that our citizens have food, warmth and medication. So it's really very good news. Obviously, we need those routes to be protected. So we call on the South African Police Services and the Defence Force to ensure that our vehicles are protected, they're secure wherever they go, that that corridor is kept tight and safe, that we don't have any repeats of what we've seen in the last couple of days.
Gavin, I know you've called for this before. I mean, the trucking industry is constantly under attack. This is such an important highway. We've seen this sort of thing before, but probably obviously not on this sort of scale. Do you think you'll be able to get that security that you need? I mean, do you think finally government and security forces will realise that this is the time now to address this problem?
Well, hopefully they have seen that not only this time, but on a number of times, but this has made it very, very graphic, that the road freight logistics chain gets hit every time. We're an important artery and we need to be protected. So hopefully they're going to heed in terms of what we've said and they're going to look after us, not only now, but in the future. Whenever other protests happen, like service delivery protests, we get targeted. So hopefully their eyes are now finally opened.
I mean, it is such a strategic corridor. Every day, 3 billion rands worth of money goes through it. What sort of backlog do we have at the moment? We know that some tolls were attacked as well. How soon do you think before it's 100% operational?
Sure, I think that's going to take some time. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near there in the next 7 days. And obviously, a lot of us are a bit skittish around what's going to happen this weekend, whether there's going to be any more activity. And then it's really the receiving area. So we might be able to get volumes up on the trucks, moving, for want of a better word, through that route. But it's whether those warehouses can accept the goods that we're going to bring in. And if it's perishable goods, it's food, all of those storage facilities, refrigerators need to be running and ready to receive. So it's probably going to take at least about 14 days before we really know what all the damage is. And then remember, we've still got to get it to the outlying areas. So it's not going to be fixed in 5 or 6 days. No, it's probably going to be at least 2 weeks before we really know where we are.
And Gavin, I know this is a bit of a broad sweep of a question, but I mean, the truck drivers who witnessed what was going on to their fellow truck drivers, the mayhem there, the burning of their trucks, how do they feel about getting back on the road?
Look, they're all hesitant. I mean, you know, you and I would also be hesitant to get back into a truck to drive down there. We've heard promises of security before. So obviously they are afraid, and this is where government has to come to the party. It has to make sure that it can look after our employees. And the employees not only in the truck but in the distribution centres. Nobody wants to get those centres nicely packed and up and going again and then suddenly faced with the same thing. So there are concerns and we are concerned about our employees.
All right, I'm sure you are, but that good news that you're up and running again. Still